Buckle up, everyone, because this week's crypto market has been, well, it's been a wild ride, to say the least.
A real roller coaster.
Yeah, and today we're going to dive deep into all of it using the Crypto Market Weekly Roundup, February 2025 as our guide.
Looking forward to it.
Me too. Plus, we've got some predictions and analysis from various sources.
Sounds good.
I think it's safe to say that every time you think you got a handle on things, crypto throws you a curveball.
Absolutely. This week was no exception.
Yeah, no kidding. We saw everything from massive security breaches to landmark ETF launches and...
Even whispers of a potential Solana dip.
Right. Okay, so let's just jump right in and start with that Bybit hack.
Okay.
A jaw-dropping $1.46 billion in Ethereum. Just poof, gone.
Vanished. It's unbelievable, really.
Wow, we're not talking about pocket change here. This is one of the largest crypto heists in history.
It really raises questions about security across the board. If a platform as big as Bybit can be targeted, it makes you wonder how vulnerable other exchanges might be.
It's a scary thought for sure.
And the implications for investor confidence are huge. This event could have ripple effects throughout the industry.
No doubt. So what can exchanges do to better protect themselves? And what about individual investors? What steps can we take to safeguard our own assets?
Well, one key area that exchanges need to focus on is their hot wallets security.
Hot wallets.
Right? These are the online wallets where funds are held for quick trading. They're convenient, but they're also more vulnerable to attacks. So exchanges need to implement things like multi-signature authorization for transactions.
So having multiple locks on a vault door.
Exactly. Multiple approvals needed for any transaction to go through. That adds another layer of security.
Makes sense.
Now, for individual investors, the best practice is to use cold wallets for the majority of their crypto holdings.
Cold wallets.
Yeah. These are offline devices specifically designed for secure storage. Think hardware wallets, for example. They offer a really high level of security.
Okay, so basically, if you're serious about protecting your crypto, you need to get yourself a cold wallet.
Absolutely. It's worth the investment.
Good advice. So security is a major concern. But amidst all that, we also saw a big win for Bitcoin on the regulatory front.
Oh, yeah.
Costa Rica launched its first Bitcoin ETF. It feels like just yesterday we were debating whether ETFs would ever become a reality in the crypto world.
It's a game changer for sure.
Right. Having a country embrace Bitcoin like this as a legitimate investment within their traditional financial system.
Huge step towards wider adoption.
It makes you wonder what kind of ripple effects this could have. Will other countries follow suit? And what about Bitcoin's price? Could this push it higher in the long run?
It's certainly possible. I think we could see a domino effect with other nations exploring their own Bitcoin ETF options.
Interesting.
And as for the price impact, it's hard to say for sure, but increased accessibility and institutional interest could definitely drive up demand.
Which could lead to...
higher prices.
Potentially.
Okay, so that's the good news. But then we have the Picoin situation. This hyped-up new crypto took a nosedive.
A major one, 71% after its launch.
Talk about a reality check. It really highlights the risks involved with these new crypto projects. You have to be careful.
Absolutely. So what are some red flags that investors should look out for when evaluating these new cryptocurrencies? How can we avoid falling for the hype?
Well, a healthy dose of skepticism is always a good starting point.
Okay.
Be wary of projects that promise unrealistic returns or that lack a clear use case. You should also do your research on the team behind the project. Look at their experience, its track record, their transparency.
Right.
And don't forget to read the project's white paper. It outlines the technology and goals.
So it's not just about jumping on the bandwagon.
Definitely not. It's about doing your due diligence and making informed decisions.
Solid advice. Now, in a surprising turn of events, the SEC dropped its case against Coinbase. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a big development, that's for sure.
Yeah.
On the surface, it seems to suggest that the U.S. might be softening its stance towards crypto.
You think so?
Maybe. It could pave the way for more innovation and investment, but we need to consider the potential implications.
What kind of implication?
Well, for instance, increased regulation could also bring some challenges. It could impose stricter compliance requirements on exchanges and businesses, and that could stifle innovation or create barriers to entry for smaller players.
That's a good point. So it's not necessarily a clear-cut win for the crypto industry.
Right. It's a complex situation with potential pros and cons.
Okay. And speaking of navigating this complex landscape, we can't ignore the growing interest from institutional players. Franklin Templeton, a major investment firm, just filed for a crypto product.
Big news.
This isn't some small startup testing the waters. This is a massive player making a significant move. What do you make of it?
It's a clear sign that traditional finance is taking crypto seriously, and their involvement could have a big impact on the market.
How so?
Well, they could bring increased liquidity and introduce more sophisticated investment strategies. Plus, their presence could attract other institutional players.
So it's like crypto is becoming more mainstream.
It's definitely moving in that direction, but it does raise some questions about the future direction of the crypto market.
Yeah. Like, what happens when traditional finance starts playing a bigger role? Does it bring more stability, or could it lead to greater control from these institutions?
That's a great question, and one that we'll need to explore further.
There's a lot to think about.
There's always a lot to think about in the world of crypto.
That's for sure.
For sure. And this brings us to Bitcoin price predictions. Investing Haven is forecasting a bullish run for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and even Solana in 2025.
Really? Wow. They must be feeling optimistic.
Oh, yeah. They're particularly bullish on Bitcoin, predicting it could hit $170,000.
$170,000. That's a pretty big number.
It is. But what are the factors driving this outlook? And how much weight should we really give to these predictions?
Yeah, good point. So what are they saying? Why so bullish?
Well, they cite a few key things. Growing institutional adoption, for one.
Makes sense.
Plus, the potential for more regulatory clarity globally.
Okay, yeah.
And of course, increased mainstream awareness of crypto in general.
Right. More people paying attention these days.
Exactly. And they also point to Bitcoin's limited supply as a driver of scarcity and value.
Right. Limited supply, high demand, basic economics.
Exactly. But as for the accuracy of these predictions, well, it's always important to take them with a grain of salt.
True. The crypto market is notoriously volatile.
Oh, yeah. Unforeseen events can easily disrupt even the most well-researched forecasts.
So you're saying don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Basically, diversification is key.
Good advice.
Yeah.
So while Bitcoin could reach those astronomical heights, we also need to be prepared for potential dips and corrections along the way.
Absolutely. And speaking of potential dips, let's talk about Solana.
Oh yeah, Solana. What's the latest there?
Well, some analysts are predicting it could drop below $180.
Below $180. I remember when Solana was the hot new thing.
It was fast transaction speeds, low fees. Everyone was excited.
Yeah, but it seems like it's been facing some challenges lately. Network outages, concerns about centralization, are those factors contributing to this bearish sentiment?
Definitely, network stability is crucial for any blockchain platform.
Sure.
And Solana's outages have raised some concerns about its reliability.
Oh, I can see that.
Plus, the issue of centralization, where a small number of validators control a significant portion of the network.
It's not ideal.
No, it goes against the whole decentralized ethos of blockchain technology.
Right. So it sounds like Solana has some work to do to regain investor confidence.
It does, but it still has a strong community and a dedicated team of developers.
So there's hope.
There's always hope. It'll be interesting to see how they address these issues and whether Solana can bounce back.
Okay, so moving on. Let's talk about crypto's growing influence in the wider financial world. 3 crypto firms made it onto the FinTech 50 list.
Pretty impressive.
It is. Can you remind our listeners what the FinTech 50 is exactly?
Sure. It's a list compiled annually that recognizes the most innovative and influential companies in the financial technology sector.
So basically the who's who of FinTech.
Exactly. And for crypto firms to be included, it's a big deal.
Right. It means they're being taken seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a clear sign that crypto and blockchain technologies are gaining traction and being recognized as a major force in finance.
It's like crypto has finally earned its seat at the table.
You could say that. It's come a long way from being dismissed as a fringe movement.
For sure. And this integration into the broader FinTech ecosystem could lead to some interesting collaborations and partnerships down the line.
I think so. We might see traditional banks incorporating blockchain technology into their operations, or fintech companies developing new crypto-powered products and services.
The possibilities seem endless.
They really do. It's an exciting time to be involved in this space.
Okay, so speaking of exciting developments, ZebPay just released its list of the top 10 crypto assets for February 2025.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I think this list is a valuable resource for our listeners. It gives some insight into current trends and investor sentiment.
Agreed. So what are some of the notable assets on this list?
Well, it includes a mix of established players and emerging projects. Bitcoin and Ethereum, of course, are still at the top, but we're also seeing newer entries like Layer 2 scaling solutions and DeFi protocols.
Makes sense. Those are hot areas right now.
They are. So what do you think are some key takeaways from this list for investors?
I'd say the main takeaway is the importance of diversification.
Diversification.
Yeah. While Bitcoin and Ethereum are still dominant, There's a whole ecosystem of innovative projects out there.
Right.
And investors should consider spreading their investments across a range of assets to manage risk and capitalize on those emerging opportunities.
So don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Spread the risk, explore different options.
Solid advice as always.
Yeah.
Diversification is key. It's like the golden rule of investing.
Yeah.
But, all this innovation in crypto, it's exciting, but it also comes with its own set of challenges, like we saw with that Bybit hack.
Yeah, for sure.
So what lessons can we learn from that security breach? How can we work towards building a more secure crypto ecosystem?
Well, I think the Bybit hack is a stark reminder that security can never be an afterthought. It's an ongoing process that requires constant vigilance and adaptation.
Okay, so what does that look like in practice?
Well, for exchanges, it means investing heavily in security infrastructure,
Makes sense.
implementing multi-layered security measures, conducting regular audits, really taking it seriously.
Right. And what about us? What can individual investors do to protect themselves?
Education is paramount.
Education.
Yeah, understanding the different types of wallets, the importance of strong passwords and two-factor authentication, being aware of common scams and phishing attempts, those are all crucial.
So it's about being proactive and informed.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, especially in the crypto world.
Okay. So let's bring this all back to you, our listener.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from security breaches to Bitcoin predictions to the growing influence of crypto in the mainstream financial world.
It's been a whirlwind.
It has. So with all these developments, where do you see the future of cryptocurrency heading?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But instead of trying to predict the future, I think it's more helpful to focus on the trends and ask ourselves what role we want to play.
Okay, I like that. What role do we want to play?
Right. Will we embrace the potential of crypto to create a more inclusive and accessible financial system? Or will we let fear and uncertainty hold us back?
That's a powerful thought. It really puts a responsibility back on us as individuals.
It does. We need to educate ourselves and make informed decisions about our involvement in this space.
Absolutely. And there are resources out there to help us do just that, like ZebPay's top 10 crypto assets list.
That's a great one. It's a fantastic starting point for understanding the current landscape and identifying potential opportunities.
Right. But it's not just about investing.
No, it's about engaging with the technology, exploring different use cases, participating in the conversations that are shaping the future of finance.
So as we wrap up this week's deep dive, I think the key takeaway is this. The future of crypto is not set in stone. It's being written right now. And we all have a role to play in shaping its direction.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting to explore crypto, remember to stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged.
And never stop learning. The crypto world is constantly evolving. There's always something new to discover.
That's for sure. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep riding that crypto wave. And remember, knowledge is your best asset in this ever-changing world.